Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Boom. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. Boom. And today, it's time for the rant. Number 38, a bird in the hand. Hello, welcome to the show. My name is Jade. This is How to App on iOS, and it is the rant. Monday morning here in Australia, the start of a brand new work week for me. Sunday for the rest of you living outside of Australia, the US and UK. Enjoying your Sunday? I hope you are. I just have barely fallen out of bed, and that's a good thing because normally when I get out of bed, I want to rant and go mental. No, I don't. I don't want to do that at all. I just want to have a chat. That's what it is. It's a friendly discussion. And it's not targeting anybody else or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's address the cat food in the room. Because, boy, this room smells like cat food today. Thank you to all of those who joined me. Well, me, I don't know about me, joined my friend Gladys Worthington yesterday to do something that was ridiculous and incredibly hard to pull off. As you remember, let's go back in time. Then we'll say hello to you all here. So last week we did the rant, and it was about the danger of comedy, and there was a purpose to it because Gladys was coming up. It was going to manifest and be a thing. Comedy is a hard thing to do, and it's very hit or miss. And I'll tell you what, when you are on a stage in front of people, you get feedback on if things are working and if they're not. And you understand this is a place we continue to go, and this is a place we don't continue to go. When you're in a room with no feedback whatsoever except some text flashing up the screen, comedy sucks. For the person delivering it, it's very, very hard to understand. The brain cannot function properly. It doesn't understand. But I hope that people enjoyed it because it was strange from this end. And you can go on about eating cat food and all the stupid nonsense that happened. That's just nonsense. Right, so that's part of the show. But it was the actual feedback, lack of feedback, and the whole empty room and hearing yourself back to nothing, which was very, very odd. So yeah, I can't explain it. I mean, if you've live streamed, you understand what it's like to sit in a room and be. Sometimes you're like, I'm talking to. Am I virtually in a mental institution right now? Just talking to myself? Is this the precursor? Is streaming the precursor to me being in a straitjacket going, and somebody coming in and putting tablets on your tongue and going, there, we'll put you back in your bed. So, yeah, there we go. And is Gladys Worthington an everyday food? Absolutely not. Absolutely not an everyday food. Is Gladys Worthington an every month kind of food? This is something I'm debating because that's a lot of stuff to process. So I will be deciding over the coming weeks if Gladys will be a monthly thing or a bi-monthly thing because, yes, these decisions are important because you know what? You can overdo something. You can really overdo something to the point that it loses its special. It loses its sparkle, its sparkly cat food feeling. So there's that. Let me know what you think about bi-monthly or monthly. I like things being special. I like things having that little bit of like, we have to wait a little bit longer. So that's my opinion anyway. Let's say hello to you all, and we'll get ranting about this topic and help you understand just what in the world I'm talking about today. I'll grab my coffee and say hello to you all. All right. Gladys only streams on her period. Oh, yeah. But I saw your questions come through towards the end. I knew they were yours. You know, you can't hide it, honey. Oh, dear. Hello, E-Urban. Mr. Smith is here. Hello. Rhodey's Jam Cave. And Pookie, of course. Hang on. I'll do Pookie and Mr. Smith. There you go. That's a combined Pookie and Mr. Smith. Hello, Justine and Rhodey and Ed Bemedal. There's... That's so much better than cat food, let me tell you that. You know, the cat food wasn't that bad. I have to admit, when I was homeless, I've eaten worse. I've eaten stuff out of a bin that you wouldn't want to know about. Paul, P-A-L, is in the house. Ali, Joe Glenn, Thomas Christ, Chad Freeman. Hello, Chad. Wild Bill, you know. Hello, Bill. Good to see you. I wouldn't say I'm a natural because it's all ridiculous. Russ, Brad wants it bi-monthly. Russ, you know, you did not have to. Before I went on, just so you know, before I went on yesterday, look, I went for a walk the day before over to the supermarket and bought all that shit for that show. And was saying to Russ, I'm going to eat that whole can of cat food. And Russ was like, I don't think you're going to do it. And then before we went on, Russ said, I'll bet you $50 you don't do it. And I said, you know, you should never do something like that, Russ. I was going to eat it anyway. Like, don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. And Russ, you know, that's what Russ does. He's a man of his word. So, you know, thank you, Russ. And to Valerie as well. And Valerie's our featured artist today, and I'll tell you why in a sec. Let's Kim Harden Hudson. Removing stems from kale. Very excited. Oh, fucking. Well, anyway, let's just forget the show, and we're all just going to watch Kim remove stems from kale. Everybody watch. Oh, Kim. Keep it up. Oh, Kim. Right. Hello, Valerie and Mateusz, my poet who doesn't know it. Good God. Keith, hello to you. Who else have I missed? Hugh, there's my friend Hugh, who's said his next time he gets on live stream, he's going to wear a kilt. I heard him say it earlier. It's true. It's true. Believe me. Have I missed anyone up the top? I can't really say. I think I got Justine, Jenny Jolave. Hello. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I don't know why you come to these rants. It's just me talking a load of bollocks. But we'll talk bollocks. Let's do the bollocks. Yes, Russ always pays his debts, or I'll fuck him if you call me big nose again. I'll come around and neck you. All right. So I'm going to start off. Let's mention a couple of things. So firstly, I want to mention today's featured artist, Valerie Butt. She's amazing. I love her so much. I love her music. I love her community. I just love Valerie. She makes stuff. She makes great stuff. And you know what? She's like really close to getting 1,000 subscribers. So during this week, I'm going to feature her all week. Let's drive everybody. Let's help Valerie get to 1,000 subscribers. She really deserves it. She works really, really hard. So if you're not subscribed, you know, go and subscribe to her. If you are subscribed, go and leave a link to her music somewhere on the internet, on Facebook, on your community tab somewhere, and tell people about this fabulous lady, yeah? And try and get people to go and sub her up and have a listen to her stuff, look at her wares, hubba, and help her get to 1,000 subscribers because, you know, she deserves that. So we'll feature her all this week. And speaking of subscribers, you're going to hear this over the next month. June 3rd, here on this channel, is my 4-year anniversary doing this show. 4 years. I am currently at 3,905 subscribers. We need to get to 4,000 by the 3rd of June. We need to do it. It has to happen. So if you're not subscribed here, you're watching this on the replay, you've been buying apps, you've used this channel at some time, because I see the stats and I see that, you know, it's about 40% of you watch my show and don't subscribe. So please hit that subscribe, help me get to 4K by June 3rd, which is the 4-year anniversary, and we'll have a big party, yeah? All right, let's get on with it, and we're talking today about a bird in the hand. Now, you may have heard this term before, but what am I talking about? Of course, I'm going to relate it to music because it's important. Here I sit every day talking about apps, right? And you may think, God, you're trying to make me buy all these apps. Well, I'm not. I'm not trying to make you, force you, tell you to buy all these apps. We've done a show like this, The Rant. We've done the whole, apps aren't Pokemon. This is a little bit before you get to the apps, because sometimes we forget the things that we have already are really good. Yeah. And they just do the job so well. As software continues to get better and better and better, the things that we have, the DAWs that we were recording to, already have these fantastic things, these reverbs, the fundamentals of making music. So, the answer sometimes isn't to just go and buy a new app to fix it. Sometimes it's just to have a look around the current DAW that you're using to see what's inside. Now, the term "a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush." Let's go to our good friend Ed Gein. Hang on. Let's go to our resident psychopath serial killer, Ed Gein. Not good friend. That's probably saying a little bit more about me than you need to know. But Ed Gein, this guy was crazy, right? Ed Gein, he strung people up. He strung people up in his garage. He drained them of their blood. He made food out of he ate food out of their skulls. He was pretty fucked in the head. Look, these are some of the things they found when they went through his house. A knife with a handle of a human bone. Skulls on the bedposts. Lampshades covered in human skin. Human lips with drawstrings. A heart in a saucepan. Well, I guess love was coming to dinner that day. Leggings made from female skin. A torso with strings made from a female corpse. Several skin masks with lipstick applied. Woohoo, sexy times. A rocker with human femur bones for armrests. Bernice Warden's severed head with nails hammered into it. Good times, and various fleshly odds and ends. But why am I bringing up Ed Gein? Well, during an interview when he was on trial, he was asked. Ed was unfit to stand trial. He was committed to the Wisconsin State Hospital for the criminally insane, where he died July 26, 1984. Further examination by psychiatrists over the years yielded the interesting information, such as Ed's off-the-cuff answer to the saying, "Oh, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush." And Ed responded with, "If you have a bird in your hand, you might squeeze it too hard and kill it." So, why am I showing you this? Just to tell you, that's not what a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush means. Okay? It's not what it means. But it's an insight into how people can get a little bit confused and maybe buy too many apps than what they need. Good God. So, let's talk about the software that we have, because I see it all the time, right? I see people doing this show. I see it in chats. Like I will review an app and do a tutorial, and I'll see somebody say, "Oh, that's a really good app. That could really help me fix this thing." And it's like, no, probably not. That's probably not what it's going to do. When you're looking at things like apps and effects and the things around making music, you don't want to be fixing things, right? Trust me, I live in an apartment that looks really nice on the inside. Everyone who comes here goes, wow, what a nice apartment. But I live here and I know that it was made with dog shit materials and it's constantly problems, right? So the foundations of the place are quite terrible. And now what they constantly have to do is come in and do Band-Aid fixes to make it better, right? Make it actually make the things work, fix all the little problems. Instead, if they had have used the right material in the first place, we wouldn't be in this situation. And this is the same with looking at tools for making music as a fix to like, oh, I'm recording this thing. I can use this other thing to fix the thing that I did poorly in the first place. And this is a trap that we all fall into. Now, like, I'm not sitting here like pointing the finger at all of you saying this is all things you do. This is things I do too. Like, I still do them. We'll probably always do them. So these rants are not always, I'm not sitting here telling you off or telling you what you should do. It is a good way for me to remind myself. All right. So Mr. Smith says it here. If you're fixing it, no, you shouldn't be fixing it, because the fundamental basics of recording stuff is to get the initial recording down as good as possible. Because here we are in a world where, I don't have to go into a recording studio and pay thousands of dollars to somebody who really doesn't have much idea about my music, but they understand how to engineer. And then I have a very brief amount of time with them to get to know them and my music and hope that they can pull out the sound I hear in my head. We now live in a digital world where we have all this great stuff at our fingertips in our little studios, and we can do it again and do it again, and we can do it again and do it again and do it again. And doing it again, what does doing it again do over everything else? Muscle memory. It gets us good at doing stuff. That's the more important thing. And I see the door wars everywhere. We've done a show on that, on the doors. How some person says, but I like this door and your door's shit. What is a DAW? It's a digital audio workstation. And these are the things we build songs in and create our music and all that jazz. So getting it right at the source is the most important thing. But here's where what happens is we have got to this point now where we look at our DAWs, our digital audio workstations that we're making music in, and go, all right, that's just the tool that we record in. And now oh my God, the world of VSTs and AUs and AUV3s and all this stuff. Did I say hi to Thomas Christ today? I don't know if I did. I feel, hello, Thomas, and Stu and Fish. I like how I just broke up the conversation there just to take you out of the moment. That's what happens here on this show. That's what happens when you've spent time with Gladys Worthington. Totally off the chain. But we do. This is the thing. And I see it all the time. Like, I can't tell you how many times in this chat I may be doing a show on an app, right? And somebody will ask, is this available on my desktop? And I'll say, yes. Why, yes, it is, because iOS and desktop virtually are the same thing now, right? They're computers. They're all the same thing. They have the same things on them. Oh, well, if I get that will help me with this problem. And it's like, no. Because most of the time, these digital audio workstations that we have all of the things, right? Now, I'm not sitting here and saying don't buy apps or anything like that, because obviously my mantra on this channel for almost 4 years has been, I'm here to show you the ins and outs of something so you can have a better understanding of it and then make an informed decision on if this is a thing that can help you to make better music, help you out in a scenario to actually make something, not fix something. No, because you've got all the tools in your DAW. And here's the other thing too, with this ridiculous notion that this DAW is better than this DAW and that. See it all the time, with GarageBand. Many people who frequent this channel We all started on iOS with GarageBand because it was free, it was simple, and a lot of the other DAWs that came out had a price tag, and they wanted to be desktop software, but they just couldn't get over the line. Cubasis was probably the closest one for a while, and we were all sitting here going, but when I get Logic, everything's going to be so much better. And guess what? Logic came out and everything wasn't so much better. The hype around it had been building for so long, it was just... And here it is, and then everybody lost their shit, and then the hype disappeared, and people just realised, oh, it just looks like GarageBand Lite. It's got all this, but it doesn't have all the same things. But it does. Again, what are the fundamentals of a DAW that you're going to need to make music? The most important thing is being able to record into it. That's the most important thing that you want from it. Yeah? So you can actually hit record and make audio or record MIDI into it. There's multiple ways to record MIDI, and you can even use one of these. You can even use a bloody keyboard to play piano into a computer these days. So there's so many ways to do all of that stuff, but it is important to have all that. But then once you've got that music in, you've got things like fundamentals, a compressor, an EQ, a reverb, a delay. You've got a chorus, things like phases. Simple stuff. This is the fundamental blocks of nearly every DAW, and every DAW has this stuff. It's already there. And is it up to scratch? Absolutely. Absolutely it is. And here's the thing, if you can't make a radio quality song with just the stuff inside of GarageBand, or just the stuff inside of Logic or Cubasis or FL Studio or whatever it is that you're using, you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry to say. It is, right? You're doing it wrong, because there are artists out there using such minimal stuff within their DAW, so just the basic simple stuff, and they're producing fantastic radio quality, huge sounding songs. There are people out there doing that. And this comes down to, the simple things in life are often the best. And often that bird that we've got in our hand, the thing that we're holding every day that has helped us to actually get some form of music out. Hey, Midnight Bandit, what's going on? Do I say hi to Stu Cash? I use Cakewalk Free. There you go. Works a treat. Of course, I'm not here to DAW shame. That's not what this is about. But it's the things that are in there that a lot of people don't actually, I know, miss, because it's easy to get swept up in the constant, oh man, tell me about it. Look at this. Look at my iPad, right? Now, I'm a Virgo. I'm incredibly anal about things. Like, my house is very, very clean. I am very anal about a lot of things. And all of my iPads, up until I started this show, used to be very organized. Let me show you the remnants of the old Jade. There you go. Look at that. The second page here. Look at the remnants of the old Jade. Orchestral, DAWs and EQs, vocal effects, guitar effects, drums. Look how anal this is. Synths with pages of synths, audio tools, storage, life, mastering. This is how anal I used to be. I used to have all this stuff. Look, Swan brass instruments, Nembrini. Everything was so organized. And then this show started, and look what happened. I don't want to know. It's just, there's just weird little sections with things in there, random 4 pockets apps in here. Everything's chaos. This one's just called music, and it's just got everything in there. This is what happens with having an overabundance of things. You go, I don't know where to put them anymore, and the things pop up, and you've got no time to pack them all away because it's all so hard and I don't want to confront it. It's too much. But again, when I make music, if you've watched me make music here on this channel and I open up, say, Logic, I probably only use about 10 different apps. For all those apps, it's that's really telling. And a lot of them are what you get inside of Logic. Compressors. Simple compressors. Because, here's the deal. A lot of the stuff that we get on iOS is really fantastic. And let's do a history walk down iOS. So I'll have a break. We'll do the ad a little bit early, have a puff on my vape and a drink of my coffee, and then we'll run through a little bit of the history of iOS to understand, to drive it home where we're going. Sorry, I'm still bringing up cat food, amazingly enough. Do you know how much I gargled yesterday after that show? And for some reason, there is still cat food appearing in my mouth. I don't know how that is. I reckon a week from now, I'm going to be waking up going, is that more cat food? Yay. Semtex, what is happening? What a time to walk in. All right. Let's have our break. So every day on the channel, we run an ad just so you all don't get ads at varying times and we can have a break and if somebody gets the ad, we can wait for them to catch up and all that stuff. So I'll run the ad. You can skip the ad if you would like to. And if you would like to avoid ads altogether, you can just join the premium from YouTube. The ad's been run. Now, while we're waiting, I normally do a little ad here, but today's a little bit different because I don't really know what's coming up this week on the show. I'm going to play a game with you all and just throw up a bunch of things that could happen this week. You like that? But I do know tomorrow this is happening. Sand, it's a sequencer. I've already done a show on it. It's had an update. It's really fabulous. Do you need it? I don't know. That's up to you. Totally up to you. But it is a DAW within itself. So these are things that you have to make decisions for yourself. But we'll take a look at the updates so you know what it's doing, or you may have purchased it and you'll know how to use the updates that have happened. This one, I don't know when this is going to happen, but I'm ready for it because Scalar got a massive update in the desktop and it's due to come out on iOS. So this could be a show that happens this week. I don't know. It's potluck. What else? I've been wanting to do a show on this. I know it's not music related, but it is music related. Delta dropped about 2 weeks ago, and I just wanted to do a show on this. This is a game, a Nintendo emulator on iOS. And why would I do a show on this? I'll tell you why. Because emulators on iOS have been banned for the longest time since I got my first iPhone back in the late 2000s. They've been banned. They said you'll never get emulators on iOS, but somehow they let one on. And they're going to let more on. But so the reason I want to do a show on this is because I think it's healthy to have games on your iPad as well too, for when you're not feeling that creative spark. Go and play a video game. Go and do something else. Have some other forms of entertainment. Plus, it's rad, man. It's got Super Nintendo. It's got Game Boy Advance. It's even got Nintendo 64 you can do on it as well. So it's really, really cool. The other show that's listed is, guess what, folks? My preset pack will be released with Nerd Synth. So that is coming maybe this week. We'll keep you up to date. And the other thing that may happen this week, is an interview with, you'll find out. All right, let's come back to what the point I was trying to make about apps. So when iOS first came out and started producing music apps, don't worry, Thomas. It was the first 3 games I loaded, man. Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. First 3. And I was playing them last night on my phone. I was so happy. Happy as a pig in shit. So when iOS first started developing music apps, it was different. It was very different. And for those of you who've been here from the start with iOS, it was, hey, Felcro, hey, it's really good to see you. I caught your video back the other day. Good to see you're doing well and hopefully back. We've missed you, my friend. Everybody give Velcro a big love heart and tell him that you love him because he's a cuddly little fucking critter. So yes, I'll get to this. So when iOS started to release music apps and Korg and a whole bunch of developers started releasing music, there was something exciting about iOS music apps because they were incredibly reliant on the touch screen. Everything was about touch interface. So you got a whole lot of really unique apps that you wouldn't get on a desktop. So it was a very different ecosystem. And the way these apps would, you would have to manipulate and use the tilt, the accelerometer in the iPads, and this worked with iPhones as well. So it was a very different music experience. It was very interactive, and people were praising these apps and saying, wow, there's so many interesting ways to make music with these apps. And it was very exciting because, you could actually touch the glass and manipulate the music with your fingers. And this was a really big draw for a lot of people. And it still is for many old school people. But the problem was you couldn't record any of this stuff. You couldn't save any of this stuff because there wasn't the ability to transfer files, and there was no file system in iOS. So you were just stuck with these things that weren't full songs. You didn't have digital audio workstations. You had GarageBand was kind of the first one that really took off, but you still couldn't transfer files properly. It was a real mess. But as people wanted their iPads to do more and more, those interesting apps have disappeared. The ability to interact and touch and actually feel like you're a part of the app has disappeared for more of a PC desktop kind of experience. And this is where we're at now, where you look at my you look at my tits and hey, there we go. Something happened at Gladys's show yesterday, Jesus. So now you see this iPad of mine is constantly on a keyboard. This has become a computer. So that whole touch thing is slowly disappearing to now this. I rarely will bring up the keyboard here on my iPad because I have this, and I'm so used to typing on this really nice keyboard. As you can see, I have an iPad up here, and whenever I go to type on this, it freaks me out. So the change has happened, and now iOS is becoming more like a desktop. Yeah, that's why we're getting so many desktop thingies come over. And it's a real shame because all that cool interactive stuff that made iPad unique is fading off into the distance. And it's just, it's progress, I guess, isn't it? But in the pursuit of being more like a desktop, this is where we've moved into this age of having great things that we haven't explored fully. And GarageBand is one of those things. And I'm going to bring up Pete Johns here because I'm sure there's people out there, I myself, right, who've been watching Pete Johns for the longest time. And you sit there wondering, man, I'm sure Pete Johns has covered this before. And you know what? He probably has in several videos. But here's the thing. You can show people things that they may not know, like, oh, did you know about this little hidden thing in GarageBand? And that's great. But people, they don't retain all of this info. There's so much info thrown at us here on YouTube and all the places, on television, everywhere you go. It's hard to remember all of this stuff. So Pete's in a really good place because he can refresh his videos and just reinstate to you, did you know about this? Because there's still so many things. Now, even myself, I will open GarageBand on my iOS device and go, oh, wow, I didn't realize you could do that. And I thought I'd, exposed every single flaw and every single thing within GarageBand, but there normally is something that you haven't really delved into. There's always something there. And even now when I open up GarageBand, I look at it now and go, oh, God, it looks so old and out of date. And look at this. This is proof. This is a remnant of the early days of iOS, isn't it? This guitar, how you can touch it. And you can do this. I remember when I first got GarageBand on iOS and went, oh, you can actually strum it like a guitar. Wow. Wow, how cool is that? Now, it kind of looks stupid and outdated and skeuomorphic and strange. But here's the thing. There are people opening this up for the first time and still going, oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. So no matter how advanced we are right now, how much we think we know everything about GarageBand, there's still somebody right now who's opening it for the first time and going, oh my God, this is cool. This is why we need to sometimes pull back and go, hey, let's remember the people who are back here who may not be up to it, like, you know, have been around all this time, and remind them of all the cool things that are available for free inside of GarageBand for absolutely nothing. You can release music once you buy an iPad, you can sit there, download GarageBand with the stuff that's inside of GarageBand. And if you want to download some free plugins, there's a free plugin at least for every kind of major thing, like, you know, compression, all that kind of stuff. But you don't need it, because when you go into GarageBand, now I haven't done a chat on GarageBand for ages, because look at this. I can go in here and just hit edit, and there's all these things. Look, this is what I mean. This is the thing. Bit crusher, chorus, distortion, flanger, microphaser, overdrive, echo, reverb, tremolo, vocal transformer. Look at the compressor. You can't get any more simple than how this compressor works. Now, I know it's not pretty. It doesn't look gorgeous. It doesn't look like some of the beautiful interfaces that Bleece make and all this stuff. But look at the things that it has. Threshold, ratio, attack, gain, makeup gain there, and the mix. That's all you fucking need. Like, it doesn't have to look pretty. The thing that I want people to understand about this stuff is, have you questioned yourself about this? Do you know how to use a compressor? Before you go out and buy the latest compressor that's just dropped as a brand new fancy app, do you actually know how to use this compressor with the basic functions of a compressor? It's a thing, because, you know, it's one of the most talked about topics in recording across digital audio workstations, or desktop and Mac and iOS, is compression. And you can go and search compression on YouTube, and you'll find a million videos of people going, don't understand compression? Well, let me help. And a lot of people will watch those videos and still not understand. So the point, again, just circling back, before you go looking for something else, are you sure you know, like, have you drained why I'm doing this? Have you squeezed the life out of the bird in your hand? Oh, am I turning into Ed Gein? What's going on? Hi, Leela. Welcome. Welcome, Leela. But have you squashed all of the goodness out of the simple stuff that's in here? Look at this visual EQ. Look at this thing, right? It's a visual EQ. It's look, you can even turn on an analyzer. Look at that. That's for free. That's all in here. This is the thing. There's so many things in each DAW that you just will be mind blown. I saw a post. Now, I think Mateusz is still here. Right, Mateusz is still here. I saw a post on Facebook today where somebody was like, hello, I need help. I need this thing I've recorded some audio and I need to remove the background sound from it. And I need to buy an app to help do this. And I saw Mateusz respond and go, well, did you know there's a thing inside of GarageBand that will do it for you? And I'm sure everybody who saw that post went, what? I had no idea that thing is there. Yes, I've been watching you, Mateusz. I follow you everywhere. Where is that thing? It is somewhere in, is it in plugins, EQ? It's somewhere in here. I can't even remember where. It's in here. Look. It's somewhere down, this is effects. It's at the bottom, isn't it? It's all the way down here. If I go down the bottom, look at these. And Pete goes on about these things all the time. You think you've found everything inside of a DAW, but you look down here, we've got, look at this, AU sound isolation. This is essentially something that will just isolate vocals. You can just decide how much of the vocal you want to isolate to remove background sound. Look where did you see where it was hidden? It was hidden all the way miles away. You have to really delve deep inside to find it. Let's find it again. So hit plus. It's in audio unit extensions, which normally suggests these are your external plugins. And you have to scroll all the way to the fucking bottom. It's right at the bottom. Look at that. AU sound isolation. Again. And a lot of people wouldn't even know these things here. Why? Because they're not squeezing the absolute most of what they have. Look at all this stuff that's in here. AU iPod EQ, low pass filter, low shelf filter, band EQ, new pitch, parametric EQ. There's a fucking parametric EQ. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all, yeah? But it works. And I think it's important to remind ourselves of these things because we're always looking for the fancy new, the shiny new. And, you know, this is how the world we live in and where, you know, just in a normal world away from iOS apps and music making, we're constantly flashed with new things. This new thing will fix all the things that it'll solve poverty. Buy this microphone. I nearly got sucked in this week. I saw a microphone and I was like, oh, I really need that microphone. And then I looked around and went, but you've got 6 microphones and you only use one. So why do you need another one? Use the fucking shit you've got. That's what I'm trying to say in short. Yeah. Even there's a DAW that I've done a show on. Let's close GarageBand out of here. I can't remember what's the DAW. What is the DAW? It starts with N, I think. New N-Track Pro. This thing here. So I did a series on this N-Track Pro. I've tried to do a whole bunch of shows where I make songs with a DAW I've never used before. Hey, Mad Musician's Magician. Hello there. I didn't see you there. Semtex. Boom. I did a whole series using this DAW to make a song. Unfortunately, some cunt reported my song and got my channel banned because they didn't like the content. So I had to go back and remove that tutorial, that 5-part tutorial. So this doesn't exist anymore. And I see people who are asking questions about this app now, and it's like, I wish this tutorial was here because I found so many cool things in here. And in this app, just for example, let me tell you, in here, so if we go continue, look at that. The first thing that pops up here, make all your music in one app. Share your songs, collaborate. This thing is so deep and so many people will set allow notifications, wouldn't even know that you can do a whole lot of the stuff in here, yeah? Let's just go to create. And one of the things I saw in here the other day, which is rad, there is an AI voice thing in here. There's just so much stuff that if you really had a look at all of the cool things in here, you would be absolutely blown away. Just instruments alone. Here's the other thing too. Instruments alone. You click on an instrument, look at all the stuff that's in here. Not only do you have all these AUV3s, yeah? You got pianos in here. You got orchestral stuff. This is all just a part of the app. Let's hit a saxophone. Look at this short, long sax notes. If you can't make music with this shit, then going out and buying all the fancy shit's not going to help you. This is the point. It's worthwhile to take a look at the stuff you already own. Go back and refresh your mind. Go deep. That's what Gladys says. No, go deep. Go open things that you may not have opened before, or you opened ages ago, and you haven't before for a while because maybe you got comfortable with a plugin that you're using, a third-party plugin. Here's the other thing too. Why I bring this up. See, a lot of people who are building music, making projects, and they go, I'm having trouble. My iPad's crashing. I've got all my, hey, Roque, what's going on? Good to see you too. I saw a question here, and I'm trying to go back. What's the easiest way to become the most skilled musician? Just keep doing it, dude. Just keep doing it. You are doing it. You're doing it. Jared, you're doing it. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Do it more. Do it more and more and more and more and more. Just keep doing it. That's all. Right? Just every opportunity that comes up to do it. Somebody offers you a gig. Go do it. Somebody offers you to do this. Just do it. Just keep doing it. And there's no way you can go wrong. It's when you stop and go, oh, well, I think I'm the shit. Then you're letting opportunities go by to get better and better and better. There's a reason why some people you look at and go, wow, they look so natural. It's just because they do it. They live it. They breathe it. They want it so bad. They make it their everything, you know. But of course, with everything like that, take breaks, do other things, have other interests, intake other stuff, you know. Absorb that and let that be a part of what you do musically as well. It can encourage you to make lyrics, all that stuff. So you can't just focus 100% on it, because you have to have that intake to fuel you up, to fill you with life and experience and all that stuff, to be able to write things about and be able to make things. But just doing it is the thing. That is my best advice for doing it. And this is why I say, go back with what you've got. If you're thinking the next time you're recording something and you go, oh, you know what? I wonder if there's an app out there or something I could buy to help me. Just pull on the brakes. Do I have a record scratch? I think I do somewhere. I used to know where it was. No, I don't anymore.
I feel like it's New Year's Eve, and I'm like, I gotta get off.
See, that's not it. It's been a while. Look, what can I say? I don't have that effect anymore. Damn. Oh, no, there it is. Do that. Fuck, that was a shit joke. Next time you're about to, I need something to make this song better. I'm going to go and look on the App Store. I'm going to go to Plug-in Boutique. No. Stop right there. Go and have a look within the DAW that you have and go and see if there's something in there that's not going to take up more memory. Because this is the thing, right? More memory. The more you add third-party plugins and stuff like that, you are adding weight to your computer, your iPad, whatever it is. You're adding stress to it. And if you can do it with the stuff that's in there, it's going to, because here's the deal, you know, sometimes when you're in the zone and you're making stuff and you just say you've added a whole bunch of things to your project, and then all of a sudden your project starts slowing down. And there's problems, and it's stuttering, and you're like, oh man, what's going on? And you save and close and open again and go, what's going on? Too much stuff. So this is why DAWs build in their own things that play nicely with the DAW that you're using. And as I said, a lot of the time these things are extremely competent, far more competent. You think about the tools that people used 60 years ago. They would have killed to have some of the free stuff that is built into your DAW of choice. So always go back and remind yourself of these things that are just sitting there. They will take up less memory, you know, and be a lot simplified. But in saying that too, remember, there are some amazing apps out there that can add beautiful things to what you've already created, yeah? But always the source material that you are working with has to have a good foundation. The tracks that you record have to be to the best of your ability. Be tough on yourself. Get that. Make sure that's a good take. Don't just settle on it. Make sure it's a good take. Get it right at the source, and then all the stuff you add on. Right. It's for an example. Let me give you an example before we go. And I know Dan Ekberg isn't here, but. You can join me every week. Now, let me announce this before we do it. I have a Patreon, and you can join for $1 a month. And every week there's a show that happens on Saturday at the same time this show normally starts for my patrons, and people send in their songs for me to master. And if you join at $1, you can send me songs to master as well. Yeah, $1 a month, and I'll master your songs. If you join at a higher tier, you may win some apps too. We do app giveaways. But this coming week on my Patreon, if you are a free member, you will get to experience the show where we master people's songs. So if you haven't joined the Patreon, join this week, even if you don't want to pay, but you'll get to come along this week and see what it's all about and make a decision if it's something you'd like to be a part of, because it's a great little community and we give each other really good feedback to help make that song better. And just let me show you an example. This is an example of using an app that you didn't need to use. So Dan Ekberg has a song. I'm not going to play all the song, trust me. So he sent me a song to do called Give, and I mastered it. And listen to the drums at the start of this song. Let's hear it again. So on my Patreon, I was like, hang on, man. What have you put on those drums? Because I know he uses Logic, and he uses the drums in Logic. He's put something on those drums to make them oversaturated. Here again. Oversaturated. He's done something to them. And I was right. He said, I used an app called, I think it was Punch Lab. And he didn't need to do that because the drums already have a really decent sound in Logic. They're already kind of pre-mixed. Even the panning's all good. So he didn't need to do that. So in the Patreon, we're able to be upfront and honest and critical without being mean or anything. And I said to him, take the mix away. Get rid of that plug-in, man. Just leave it as it is. And this week, we actually finished the song. The drums still have snap, but now they're not oversaturating, they're not distorted, and the song sounds rad. But all the problem was that he used an app that he didn't need to use, right? He already had what he had going on in Logic, and it was fine enough. But sometimes you can just overbake that and think, oh, I've got this app. I'll just use this because I've got it, right? Don't need to. Important things as we play Valerie's song and get out of here. Brush up on your skills on simple things like reverb and delay and compression and EQ. Understand that EQ is just adding volume or taking out volume. Until you get the fundamental stuff and look at the stuff you already have in your DAW. And it's simple and easy for a reason. It's built into the DAW for a reason, so it makes life easy for you, gives you plenty of memory to use on whatever device or whatever DAW you're using. Go back, yeah? Go back and have a look. And you may find you'll brush up on your skills a little bit more, and you may learn something more about compression to help you get a better mix, yeah? So I'm not telling anybody off or singling anybody out. As I said at the beginning, this is a reminder for me as well. We already have great stuff, yeah? And sometimes we can be overwhelmed with something new to fix things. But we already have great stuff, and sometimes we just forget that this stuff is in front of us. It's much like the people you have in your life, your friends. Let them know you love them. Let them know that you appreciate them. Yeah, go back to them, revisit them, remind them that why you love them. Simple stuff, yeah. That's what I ranted about today. Use what you got, not what you maybe could have. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. That's my rant over. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank you all for supporting my channel so very much. Remember, get the word out to Valerie. We're going to play her music now, help her get to 1,000 subs. She's only like 18 away or something like that. It's a really minimal amount. And over the next month, we're on the drive to get 4K subs here before June 3rd. All right, let's get over and play this song. Then I'm going to dump you all over to Pete Johns. who's doing Your Music Live, where he plays your music because Pete's rad and we love Pete Johns. And yeah, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together and stay awake. Let's play this song. It's beautiful. This is Bittersweet by Valerie Butt. Oj.
Shallow water, sweet talker, a bouquet of ginger ale and Johnny Walker, rough whiskers, quote scripture, suited up like an old man from the moving pictures. Too late to turn back now. More than heaven will allow. Gold watches, stale corsages, a dress aligned with French links and snuff boxes, second stringer, calloused fingers, so convincing they swallowed it, hook, line and sinker. Better late than not at all. Read the writing on the wall. Every bittersweet goodbye is just a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise. Every bittersweet goodbye is just a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise. Like Prince Charming pulls up in an Aston Martin, glove compartment full of tickets for expired parking. One daughter lives back in Clearwater, never went to school but calls BU his alma mater. Don't let him fool you with his smile. Give an inch, he'll take a mile. Every bittersweet goodbye is just a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise. Every bittersweet goodbye is just a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise. Vainglorious and debonair, receding store-bought box-dyed hair. Hard to bear but too old to care, on a road that leads to who knows where. Every bittersweet goodbye is just a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise. Every bittersweet goodbye is just a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise. A blessing